She crawled on her hands and knees,
Yeah.
and I don't think she was faking it.
Man, this maze is incredible.
This maze is... wow.
You don't need scares. Some people don't like them. They just want to wait 3 hours in line. Some
Right.
people really like that.
Right.
It's like, I hate gas in my face. Let's get in this 3-hour line.
You don't have to use the term scare zone.
Yeah.
Like, Universal is a big enough park where they don't have to play by Knott's or Six Flags' rules.
It just left me confused. I was like, why are they in this? What is this? What is this? Why? Welcome back to the Zybcast episode 3. I'm your host, TJ Ferralis, and today we have a very special program. Today we are talking about Universal Studios Hollywood Horror Nights, and I am, again, not alone. Let me quickly introduce my guest today. You've met him before, Global Trade Specialist at the Department of Homeland Security and Army National Guard officer, but more famously known for being my kindergarten childhood friend, friend of the show, fellow Halloween fanatic. We have Rithik.
Hey TJ, how you doing? I'm excited to be here. We did Knott's, we did Six Flags, and we are finishing off the big three in California with Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about it today because from our past experiences, Hollywood Horror Nights has always had some really high highs and really low lows, and
it is a dynamic park for sure.
It is a dynamic park, and they did not disappoint in that department again this year.
Our opinions are all over the place. They're highs, they're lows, there's things in the middle. Oh, I think this is going to be a good one.
All right. Yeah, we have so much to talk about today, though. We're going to be breaking down the maze of Scarezones and show today. So let's get down to business, yeah?
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, okay. So Hollywood Horror Nights. How much does it cost regular? How much does it cost Fast Pass? And what do you get with that?
Okay, Hollywood Horror Nights. Okay, so Universal Studios Hollywood, right in the middle of Hollywood. It is a huge theme park, big. I would say people go to Disneyland, then they go here. They still shoot live TV shows here. So big crowd. I think this is the biggest event that we go to by attendance. So even though I have my favorite out there, Universal's, no debate about it, is the most attended Halloween event in Southern California. Mm-hmm. So for October 4th, where we do all of our comparisons, a regular ticket would have cost you $85. $85. The Fast Pass, there's a few different options at Universal. The one that we took was I forget the name of it, but what it allows you to do is to go to every maze once and the 4 rides that are open once for $200. They have an option where you can have an unlimited number of times through each maze. That's an additional price. We thought the one time through each event would be enough for us. They also have another option that some people might be interested in, particularly for this event. They have a season pass for Halloween Horror Nights. So if you live in the area, you're not in a hurry, you're willing to wait the waits, and they are some pretty big mates.
Oh boy.
At this park, you can come back for multiple nights. So Hollywood Horror Nights, those are your two options that we went through. The regular, $85, Fast Pass, $200. There's a few options. Check it out on the website. But this is one where I think you need the Fast Pass.
You need the Fast Pass for sure. Come on.
This event gets so crowded.
Dude, so there's some of these waits that were like over 2 hours.
3 hours. I've seen 3 hours. I've seen 180 minutes.
Man.
You could have... It was, I believe, maybe 2 years ago, they had an Alien vs. Predator maze. 3 hour wait. You could have seen the movie. You could have seen the movie in line.
Watch the movie, prep yourself.
They had American Horror Story maze.
Oh,
you could have seen half of the season. you could have done your homework in line.
Right.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. 3 hours. This event starts at 7 p.m., ends at 2, most nights, sometimes at 1.
That is not enough time.
So you have, 5 hours?
That's not enough time.
If you go to the most crowded mazes, you can see 2 mazes.
2 mazes.
It's possible.
2 mazes.
It's possible. If you go on a Saturday or the wrong Friday,
Yeah.
2 mazes. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, $85 for 2 mazes. Just go to Creepshow LA or something.
Right.
I don't know.
You go anywhere else.
Anywhere else.
Go anywhere
Yeah.
else.
Go to Six Flags. Get a season pass at Six Flags.
You can get a season pass at Six Flags.
It includes parking.
It's absolutely absurd. Now, so either one, get the season pass because you're a local and you're willing to wait in line for multiple days. That sounds crazy. Someone's out there.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
okay. Sure.
You're going to go with multiple people, multiple days. I don't know. Whatever possesses you. The other thing is that the rides that are available, they're not all the rides at Universal. It's a select few rides. So it's not
really?
like Knott's. It's not like Knott's. It's not like Six Flags. It's really just the Halloween stuff that's open.
And maybe it's just me. I'm sure there's some of you out there. Sometimes I wear contacts. A lot of times I wear glasses. And a lot of these rides, they're 3D or 4D. Ooh, because it moves. It's 4D. It's a
Yeah,
4D,
that's not how dimensions work.
Yeah.
That isn't how dimensions work.
It's a 4D maze, people. You're gonna travel through time. You're actually going to be. You're going to be with the mummy.
Right.
You will be the mummy. Right. You ever wanted to be the mummy? Why is he attacking me? I'm the mummy. But yeah, so I gotta put these glasses over my glasses. Every single ride at Universal Studios, every ride gives me a crazy headache. Crazy motion sickness. Transformers the ride, the worst ride ever. I don't puke. I'm not a puke guy, but I will be gagging for like hours after I go through the Transformers the ride. I know and you know what? It's an interesting ride. It's awesome. It's a crazy visual experience, but every single time I cannot handle. So the ride thing is not really a factor for me.
Right.
So for some of you, it might be.
We've done rides before that usually entails TJ feeling sick for the rest of the night. When we do the rides, we do it at the very end. Anyway, with that rave review, those rides are available. So you got 4 available rides, and that's it.
Yep.
The shows aren't available. So if you're coming to Universal at night for this Halloween event, you're coming for the Halloween event.
Yep.
So get the Fast Pass. I know it's $200. If you want to come here, you've decided you're going to come here, get the Fast Pass.
Yeah, look.
That's it.
Look, guys.
That's it. No mitigating factors there.
No, okay, so whenever I hear about negative things about any of these haunted attractions, it's always the same thing. It's always about the lines. Well, you already took your day off work or whatever, you made plans with your friends, and look, if every single time I hear a complaint it's about the lines, then just shell the extra money and have a good time.
Right.
Why do you keep going to these events and complaining when the solution is obviously just to pay for it?
Yeah, pay for it or don't go.
Yeah,
200
don't
is
go.
too much. If you think $200 is not worth it's not worth the money.
Then 85 is not worth the 3 hours of line, 6 hours of line waiting.
Exactly. So pay the $200 because you want to go, or go to another event.
Yeah.
That's cheaper where
Go
you
to
can have
Knott's.
it. Go to Queen Mary. It's $35 to get in.
I have never been to Queen Mary.
It's worth $35. It is worth $35. The Fast Pass I think is $70. Both price points make
great.
sense. Anyway, Universal.
Okay, yeah. We have a lot of stuff to get
$200
on.
or don't do it.
All right, yeah. So you heard it here and everywhere. I believe everyone should get it. But okay, let's move on. We got a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm really excited to talk about the maze, scares, and shows. So let's start with the mazes. Yeah, we're gonna rate each maze, 1 through 5, or out of 5 stars. Why is that so hard to say? Out of 5 stars, just like we always do. We're gonna try and give it as fair of an analysis as possible as if you're a first-time goer. Yeah.
One thing that I will say that's awesome about Universal compared to Knott's and Six Flags, every single maze every year is new. Every year it's new.
Yeah. So let's start off with the first maze. Yeah.
Okay, House of 1,000 Corpses. I
Yeah.
did not see the movie. TJ, did you see the movie?
I did not see the movie either.
Okay, so
and that's
your
gonna
mileage is going to vary whether you've seen the movie or not.
Correct. And that's going to be kind of what's up with Hollywood Horror Nights. I mean, going with the theme, Hollywood, all of these except for
2 this year. This is the first year they've done 2 that are original intellectual property.
Yeah.
So
everything else are movies or TV shows.
correct.
So, yeah, not having seen House of 1,000 Corpses, it's kind of a mess. I mean, obviously, because I didn't watch the movie.
I can only imagine the movie's a mess. That's
okay. So you walk in, and there's every single room in Hollywood Horror Nights, to give you an example, they're kind of scenes from the movie. One of the scenes that was interesting was like this bride in this living room or whatever, and she like kind of lunges at you. But the next scene is like something completely different. You got like these, not Benjamin. Why did I say Benjamin Franklin? Like these Uncle Sam people like coming out at you. Doesn't make any sense. I guess if you watch the movie, it's awesome, but it's just a lot of lightning, a lot of jumping out trapdoors. I don't know. It wasn't bad.
For someone that didn't see the movie, I thought the setting was all over the place, but Universal is solid in everything they do.
Yeah.
So I don't think that very rarely do they have terrible mazes. So
yes,
the scares are very similar in that someone has a hide hole, it's timed, the scare actor comes out, hits a button, lightning goes off, they lunge at you. If you're at the right place at the right time, they're going to startle you at the very least, they're going to startle you. Mm-hmm. If you're into the atmosphere, they may scare you. Mm-hmm. I wasn't into the atmosphere for most of this maze. It seemed really all over the place, but I got some scares regardless. Yeah. So that really talks about the strength or the resilience or the bottom line of how Universal does mazes, is that you'll probably get startled. I went through this maze and I was startled.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say? It's kind of like that shaker can effect.
Right.
People complain about shaker cans. I don't know if people complain about lightning in, Universal Studios, but to me, it's a crutch for worse actors. You know what I mean? They just throw money at the problem. We don't have to rely on our actors to get a startle or anything. But yeah, this maze didn't creep me out. It just loud noise. Oh, you got me.
Yeah, a couple times.
Why are you wearing that?
right. You got me. Why are you dressed? What could the plot of this movie be? House of a Thousand Corpses. Thousands of different seasons for different settings.
For a maze titled House of a Thousand Corpses, I didn't see that many corpses. I don't
recall seeing any corpses.
There were a couple.
No?
I mean, when you're walking through that hallway and you have like those, are they like cheerleaders or something? They're
this left a bigger impression on you than it did me.
They're like bodies hanging from. There's like a couple. There was much less than 1,000, I would say. I would say a very, very
house of some corpses.
House of corpses
in many settings.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
TJ, what would you say? How would you rate this maze?
Look, I know we're bagging on it, but it's all. I'm sure if we watched the movie, then it would be fine. But as a regular
homework for a maze, I don't know.
I know. If you're a regular customer and House of a Thousand Corpses, this is my first time hearing it. Have you heard of that movie before?
I know Rob Zombie is involved with that.
Okay, fine. Okay. For me, I didn't watch Stranger Things. Okay, I don't watch a lot of shows.
Okay,
I know.
It's gonna be a rough night.
I know. So not having watched it, going as a customer who hasn't watched it, it's fine. I mean, it scared me a little bit. I don't think it's awful. It's just weird and just a lot. It's too much, or too little. I don't know. Just not enough cohesion for me. It's fine. 3 out of 5 maybe. I think passes.
4 for me. Not good. I'm gonna give this. Start the night off with some negativity. 2 out of 5.
Oh.
I just thought it was all over the place. Yes, they did startle me. Mm-hmm.
I know it wasn't.
But I didn't know what the setting was, and I know it's unfair to say, or is it unfair to say that the movie was bad? Hey, if you put your eggs in that movie basket, and
look, you're Universal Studios, you probably spent like $20,000 on this maze, you know, and you chose this movie, and I didn't watch the movie, but I paid for the ticket.
So right, I paid $200 for this ticket.
So I mean, I guess you scared me, but I was still confused. I can see where you're coming from. Damn, 2 out of 5 though.
Yeah, I'm okay with 2 out of 5. Right. I really, yeah.
Okay, well, there you have it. Oh man, okay. Let's move on to our next maze, which is we have mazes that we really like, okay? There are mazes that we really like. They have so much to offer, but Walking Dead is not one of them. And there's a reason. There's a real reason, is because it's here all year round. So there's not much you can do. It's a permanent structure. And it's so short. It's like a 30-second experience, really. How long was the line? I didn't even check the line. I can't imagine waiting in line for walking.
So for this one, the wait time was actually pretty short. It's one of the least crowded attractions. I think it's probably 35 minutes. And I don't.
That's still precious time.
I wouldn't use it on this maze. Okay. Yeah. I like The Walking Dead. TJ, have you seen The Walking Dead?
I have not. See this. Okay. I don't watch anything. This is an issue. I just sit alone in my room and I just contemplate why I don't get anything.
Before you turn off the podcast, let me before you hit that dislike button and unsubscribe.
Right.
Let me tell you, this is the strongest year that Universal has had.
Yes.
And we're going to get to the strong part.
Oh, yeah.
This is the strongest years that they've had in 4 years.
Right.
I've had the most fun during this Universal event than I've had in the 4 years that I've been going.
Oh, yeah.
So, bear with us, but we have some negativity for you.
We have
some negativity now.
Some.
Positivity later.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Walking Dead, I've watched a few seasons. I liked the show, then I stopped after, I think, season 4 or 5. So, I like the IP. This maze was probably good 5 years ago, and I think it's unique that they have this daytime attraction, but it's extremely short. Okay, there is not a lot of scare actors here. I know I've heard from other podcasts that they throw in a couple scare actors. I can't imagine how worse this would be without the extra scare actors, because there's so few of them to begin with, and it's very short. If you're a Walking Dead fan, you're walking through some scenes that are interesting, but most of the scenes are zombies behind chain link fences and some scripted moments.
And here's the thing about the chain link fences that after going through this so many times, I noticed that these chain link fences, they have like this padding on them. They have like little holes that the zombies can reach through, and some of them the zombies you can't see right away, but I just look at the chain link fence and I can see the padding, and that's a tell. I can already tell that that's where the zombie's supposed to swipe at me. I'm a good sport. I don't walk away from scares. In fact, it's kind of to the point where I want to get the scares, but it just kind of takes me out of the moment where it's like, oh, I guess they don't want to dislocate their shoulder while slamming through that. Okay, I see the padding. Okay, I see 3 paddings. Those are the next 3 scares. It's kind of like seeing a black curtain, but it's in broad daylight. It's like, okay, I know that there's something behind there. But anyway, I know it's unfair because it's not really, I don't really count this as part of the Halloween event. It's
there all year. It's going to be here every single year. I don't think it's not worth anyone's time to go.
No, I mean, if
you've ever been once, if you're a huge Walking Dead fan, you've never gone, go ahead and do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But as a maze, as a Halloween attraction, it doesn't stand up.
I mean, and it's like a minute long.
It's.
I don't think we need to talk too much about this
That's
one.
It.
Yeah.
So,
I'll be fair. I'm just gonna say it's a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5 for me as well. It's just, it doesn't stand up as a maze. That's all I got.
Next. Okay. Holidayz in Hell, however, was awesome.
Oh.
Okay. This one was awesome. Now, it's funny because, me and Rithik, Rithik is my Halloween partner, and we typically, we go through the mazes together. That's, that's what you do. We had 2 very different experiences with this maze, I think, because I actually don't remember anything about this maze. But it was awesome because when we were going through the maze, there was actually this group of maybe like, it was a big group.
Eight
like
girls?
Was it 8? Like, yeah, it was a lot. And there was this one girl who...
now girls they were like in their late 20s.
Yeah,
so not girls, adult.
Yeah, like college students and
right.
up, you know what I mean? So, and there was this one girl who was freaking out and covering, and as they were like cowering, and as they were walking through the maze, this large group of girls, like behind them, they were making her lead, and they were pointing at her above her head, like they scare her. I guess they wanted.
Yeah, and the scare actors were just going after this girl again and again, and she was falling over. She crawled out of her room at one point. She crawled on her hands and knees.
Yeah.
And I don't think she was faking it. I was a little but man, they were coming at her from every angle.
Right.
We weren't getting any scares, so what we were doing is that we were just following behind them so we could at least see this happen.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the scare,
Jesus.
the technique when you become veterans at the park, you know who to follow, because a lot of times your experience in a maze is just going to be luck, whether or not the actors reset on time, whether you get in front of the line, back of the line. Every time you see what we call scare bait, is basically you know that person's a fraidy cat. You know they're going to get a big reaction. You're going to have a good time if you follow that group that has the scare bait in there. And that was kind of like, okay, let's kind of like hurry up. And the whole time, I was just enjoying the sight of her freaking out every single time something came out. And because of that, I don't really remember the theming of the maze.
Okay, so what Holidayz in Hell is that it was actually a scare zone last year. They turned it into its own maze. It's one of the few mazes that isn't based on a TV show. Holidayz in Hell it starts with New Year's, then it's every holiday, but it's Halloweenified, and there's some sort of killer on the loose or these. So you got your New Year's. It opens up with New Year's, and it's these people dancing around. And you got your champagne, and there's this a guy with a knife. Then it goes into Valentine's Day, and there's Cupid's coming out with a knife, and then you have your St. Patrick's Day.
There's St. Patrick's Day.
You didn't see any of this.
I didn't see anything. Okay.
I was behind you, so I got to see the girl and the set dressing.
Oh, okay.
And then I forget, but it's every single holiday. And it's actually pretty good. It's a good maze, great scares.
Okay.
The set dressing is pretty. It's a little on the silly side, but it's still, the actors are positioned well enough to get you, and it's an interesting take on each holiday. Now, it ends with Thanksgiving. There's a turkey guy with a knife, I believe.
A turkey guy?
Yeah, turkey guy. This is a great maze, TJ. You got to go back to this maze. It's a great maze.
Completely missed.
It ends with a scare zone. It's not a scare zone because there's no way you can enter the scare zone.
It's funny. I do remember the last part of the maze, because like open out is wide open, and there's like a Santa person.
Right. It's Christmas in Hell, and they call this a scare zone, but
it's not a scare zone.
It's not a scare zone because you can only get to it through this maze. So it's an outdoor part of the maze. Great part of the maze.
I do remember this part.
And it ends with a Christmas themed.
Right.
And it opens up, and it's a great maze.
Oh,
it's great.
All right. Well,
we'll be going back, and you keep your eyes open. It's good. This one's good.
Okay. Well, I think it'd be unfair to rate I can rate Christmas in Hell. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Because I remember that part.
I give this maze a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
It's great. It's a great maze. It's a lot of fun. I like that Universal is trying the non-TV show, non-movie event stuff. I don't want it to take over. I do like that Universal has your known IPs out there, but every once in a while, when they have a strong scare zone, it has a potential for being a maze. Try it out. They did it this year. I think it was a big win.
All right. Well, I'll rank my experience a 5 out of 5. That was I haven't laughed that much in a while. Maze, I guess, is a 4 out of 5. Take it from him, okay? Okay. Moving on to, dude, this maze is awesome. I'm just gonna say I can't wait to talk about this maze. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and I actually was not excited to get into the.
No, I haven't seen this movie. It's from the 80s, I think. Have you seen it?
No, I didn't even know it was a movie. I just saw it, and I thought.
I mean, the title says it all. Killer Clowns, they're from outer space. They're here to kill. Outer space has clowns. Clowns with a K, so you know something's going on there.
Right. Dude, this maze.
This was unreal. This is awesome.
This maze was. Yeah,
it was. See, told you guys, we had some positive things to say.
We have more positive things. Okay, so you walk into from the get-go, right? From the get-go, walking into the first room, and it's just a complete contrast from what you're used to. So you walk into the first room, and it's like bounce house neon, and you're just like, what the heck? Especially for me, because I haven't seen the movie, which actually helped me, I believe, because I was like, what is this? And I was just looking around like this bounce house. There's like swirly areas, and you're walking through, and then the clowns like they pop like so that you have your typical Hollywood Horror Nights clowns, but there's actually this or scares, but there's actually this one moment in the maze that I like actually added to the scare value in a way you would not imagine. So you're walking through. There's a part where you walk open and there's a door or like this, the little. What do you call it? Like a curtain that you have to walk through.
Okay.
And there's like another curtain. And it's like another door. Walk through another curtain, another door. You know, you walk through and there's that part. But then there's another part that, like, when you're all done through that, there's this clown that is holding a ray gun. And like, oh, he's gonna zap me. Oh no. It is creepy because he does jump out, but then he actually squirted me with water. It was a real squirt gun. I was soaked. Yeah. And I was like, every single time I saw like a ray gun after him, it was true fear. I was like, wait, that better not be a squirt gun.
There's nothing that I hate more than being wet at a theme park. I do not like that. So that raised the stakes.
Yeah. Right.
This guy, they're ready to make me uncomfortable. Right. I don't know how wet I'm going to get. I don't know how long this maze is. All of these clowns from outer space, they have guns. They could be getting me wet.
Right.
Already one got me. So every time I saw a gun after that,
yeah,
I ducked out of the way. I was walking faster. My mission was to get out of that maze.
Yeah, I was really uncomfortable after that moment. But even before that moment, I mean, it's just so cool. It's just a cool maze.
The set designs are awesome.
Yeah.
The actors there are awesome. Mm-hmm. The costumes are fantastic. Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for neon, as you are, TJ.
Yeah, for sure.
And they use a lot of neon in this maze to good effect.
Yeah, there's
visually very interesting.
Yeah, there's this part where you have this like animatronic clown that comes out and you think he's gonna run you over with a little clown car. I thought that was pretty cute. But
it was fun and it was scary, which is a strange mix.
Right.
Usually it's one or the other. This one was pretty good. It seemed like I didn't see the movie, but it seemed like some fans of the movie were reacting to the scenes.
Oh, really?
So they were saying, "Oh, it's that scene." Like it seemed like people were really into this maze. They were really happy with how they did it. I saw some overheard some comments after we got out of the maze of how good a job that they did.
Wow.
So
yeah. So one of the things that helps me since I'm at the point where I'm just soaking everything in. I get to actually look at the set pieces, which is something that I never got to do before. Because before, it was speed walk through this maze, try not to get scared. But now I'm like, man, look at this. People built this. Look at all the set design. And Killer Clowns from Outer Space, it's just such a joy to look at. Maybe because I'm a sucker for neon, but man, it's different. It's different, it's scary, it's fun. Wish I didn't get wet. No, you know what? That added to the experience. All right, so
now, if you're a crazy person and you got the regular pass, you're going to wait 3 hours for a maze, make this the maze. Right. Make this a maze. If you're a crazy person, you want to wait 3 hours for one maze, this is it. This is the one.
This is the maze.
It's a lot of fun.
So, yeah, I'm going to give this a perfect score. 5 out of 5. I can't think of one thing that they can do to improve it.
Yeah, 5 out of 5. This maze was a joy, and I'll say, I love a lot of the mazes that Knott's, and when I love a maze, I'm happy to see it next year. I'm sad I won't get to see this one next year because I know Universal changes over all their mazes. This one, out of the park, home run.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so moving on to yet another IP that I'm not familiar with.
Stranger Things, huge fan over here.
Destroy me in the comments for this. Stranger Things, have not seen one
episode.
Hit
those dislike buttons.
Hit the dislike.
Fire up this comment section. Tell TJ he's not worthy of life until he sees this show.
Hit the dislike button twice. All right. So, Stranger Things. Different from last year's Stranger Things.
Right.
Different
this is
sets.
season 2. Last year they had season 1.
Okay. It's cool, I guess.
Okay, all right.
Okay, go ahead.
As a fan.
Okay, go ahead.
I really enjoyed
the show.
I do watch the show. I've seen season 1 and 2. Haven't gotten to season 3 yet. Is that available? Anyway, a little bit backlog. I like the show a lot. I love the 80s stuff, the 80s throwback stuff that they've been doing. This maze is a delight for people that have seen the show. They do a lot of the scenes very well. The set dressing's very detailed. It's a fan's maze. I don't think it's super scary, though.
That was the problem for me.
Yes. I enjoyed the maze because I felt like I was walking through a diorama of a show that I enjoyed. But it wasn't very scary.
Yeah, so imagine for me, I'm walking through a diorama of a show that I didn't see. And it's not very scary. So I do remember one part that was a little bit uncomfortable, where they have, I think it was these tree root tendril thingies, and they're kind
Demigorgons? Demigorgons? Would you describe them as would you describe them as demigorgons?
Whatever you Stranger Things people call those little tree root things, that guess they're demigorgons.
Demigorgons.
Okay.
Right.
There was a part where you see it like, going through the walls, and they're kind of moving. You have to like walk past them. I thought it was like, ooh, that's kind of gross. But half the time it's like there's a window.
There's a lot of like pages in the air.
It's like a kid holding a flashlight and
hey, that's a great scene.
And staring at something, and he's like, "Don't look away" or something, and I'm like, "Yeah, don't do that because something bad will happen if you do that." It won't happen to me. I'm behind the glass, but you keep looking at that, whatever that is. It's like. And people had like a huge reaction to that stuff from behind us.
I did too. I remember
like,
what scene that is.
It's like, it's a quote from the show. Yeah, all right. It's a quote from the show. Moving on. Like, all right. Half the time it's like a kid crouching. He's like.
You know what's funny is that this show is, this maze is all about the best parts of the show. But I think, TJ, from your experience, no spoilers were given, right? You have no...
I just don't understand.
You have no idea what this show's about.
In fact, is there such thing as anti-spoilers? It's like, I would be more confused going, it's like, wait, but where's the part where he can't stop looking at the thing with the flashlight? Right. Why are they talking about...
So one positive, if you haven't seen Stranger Things... Season 2.
You have a lot of positive things about this.
Yeah, I love this maze. But if you haven't seen Stranger Things Season 2, you only seen Season 1, you think, I don't want to go to the maze. There might be spoilers. Don't worry. You won't understand a thing.
Okay. All right, Rithik. What do you rate this?
I give this a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I love this maze.
Fair enough. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5. Doesn't make any sense. Not scary. And there's 3 scare actors in the entire thing. I think all the actors are children.
Yeah,
with flashlights, looking through pages.
Yeah, see, they're not. Man, I'm standing by my 4 out of 5, but they're not scare actors. They're actors.
Yeah,
they're just regular actors.
I mean, look, I'm sure if you watch season 2, it's awesome. Go to the maze. All right. If you haven't seen any Stranger Things like me, do not go.
You would not wait 3 hours for this maze.
Oh
now,
my
see,
God.
TJ, if you got the regular pass,
okay.
You had good internet. You downloaded season 1.
Okay.
You would have known what was going on if you just watched it in line. If you waited the 3 hours to see this.
Okay,
maze.
fair enough.
So that's on you. Okay.
There you go. There's a solution for everything, folks, and sometimes it's just
you got the time.
Donate the weekend. Donate the weekend. Okay. Moving on to Creepshow. Creepshow is like a comic book themed...
It is a comic book, and it later became a TV show.
Okay.
That's the extent of our knowledge. That is what I got from the pamphlet and the quick Google search. So we're not familiar with this property.
Didn't think it was too bad. It was just a bunch of... It's like a bunch of fake walls with like people jumping out of like pages of a comic book.
So they introduce... So it's a comic book. So they introduce what issue the scene is from before. So you kind of primed to know you're entering a new scene from this part of the comic book. I imagine it's an important part of the comic book that was later part of the show, because it seemed like people knew what was going on. Like, oh, it's this one. Oh, it's this one. It's that one. Unlike Stranger Things, though, for those that are uninitiated, still pretty scary.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. Yeah, they're just some weird... They're just pretty good jump scares, I would say. They are overusing that comic book wall thing, which they love, the projector thing.
So one thing that is very normal at Universal's that I love is that they'll have a poster on the wall or a video projecting on the wall. But the wall is not a wall. It's actually this fabric sheet. And the scare actor, as you get close to it, can pull it back and jump out at you. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. This is one of my favorite scares at Universal. And they do it a lot. However, in this maze, they do it so much that I started noticing on these comic books, there was like a fabric backing, right? So like it's a fabric sheet that they pull back. I could see where it was starting to get warped from the actor pulling at the edge.
Yeah.
So I knew where they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you kind of see like the imperfections of the fabric as like ripples to the side. You're like, yep, well, there's a... Should I wait for this guy?
This was the only maze where I noticed that, because they just had back-to-back these comic book things. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's going to be a problem for everyone, because I've been to this event so many times that I kind of am looking for it, and this was the one maze where it was just so overused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't...
It was fine.
It's fine.
I thought the maze was fine.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. It's kind of like that middle of the road.
It was competent.
Yeah, I don't know. I would give it... I'd give it 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd go with a 3 as well.
3?
It was fine. It was fine.
Okay. So on that note, why don't we go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll finish off the rest of these mazes, starting with Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman after the break. Welcome back to the Zybcast episode 3. We are going to finish the rest of these mazes here, starting with Frankenstein Meets Wolfman. Wow, what a title.
What a title. Caveat here. Right, we were discussing the title. Well, I looked it up after the night that we went. Uh-huh. This is the title of a movie that came out in the 50s.
It's a movie, okay.
This answers some, but not all of my questions about the maze. And so it's one of the things we're saying is, why isn't it Frankenstein versus the Wolfman? Why would it have to be meets? That's the movie that they made in the 50s.
Okay. Is it about a business meeting between they're gonna set up a bakery and they just need to sign some paperwork?
I haven't seen. This is when Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. He's trying to sell an apartment to him. They're in escrow.
It's actually a dark comedy.
I haven't seen the movie, but wow, nothing must happen in this movie.
Oh.
Okay, let's talk about the maze really quickly. Okay.
So you walk into the maze. The first thing you see, I guess his name's Wolfman. Call him Wolfman. Wolfman is turning into Wolfman. He's kind of in humanoid clothes. He's wearing a shirt, and you see him getting hairy, and he's turning into a wolf. Then you get into a couple hallways that have Wolfman-related things. You have some deranged guy says... watch out, some weirdo. Mm-hmm. And you walk past him, there's a couple of, what would you describe as dungeon hallways? Dungeon
hallways, yes.
Yeah, so then now you're transitioning into
now mind you, we're both familiar with both Frankenstein's monster and the Wolfman, so it's not like we don't know what werewolves are.
I guess this is their attempt of bridging the gap between Frankenstein and Wolfman, because after you get through those dungeon areas, there's like 5 hallways, or no, I'm exaggerating, but there's a couple of hallways, and then you get to this
maze
library.
Is building up to a climax that never happens.
Yeah, so okay, here's the thing. Here is the thing about the maze that was ridiculous to me. Okay, so first, they set this plot where it's like, okay, this Frankenstein meets the wolf. Okay, he's turning into the Wolfman. Then you go to the couple hallways, and then it felt like walking through the maze. It felt like out of nowhere, all of a sudden, you're in a laboratory that has Frankenstein and the Wolfman in the same room. Like out of nowhere, it's like, what is going on?
I don't know what scene that they were acting out in the movie. I don't know if the movie has this plot progression, but it's got to be all over the place. Because I didn't understand what was happening this maze.
It felt like when we were inside that room, it felt like the actors were kind of tired or demotivated. I don't know if it was like the end of the night or something, but they didn't even like come and jump out. They're just kind of like pinned to the standing They were both in like.
So you go in and you see Frankenstein on Frankenstein's bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Frankenstein's monster for those people that have already disliked. I understand. It's Frankenstein's monster, but he's the son of Frankenstein. Ergo, his last name would also be Frankenstein.
There you go.
So he's on his bed. It's in the standing position. Next to him is the Wolfman.
Like to his right.
To his right on the other side.
No, to his... Yes.
To his right on the other side is the Wolfman. This, I assume, is where Frankenstein and the Wolfman met. This is the climax. And it seems like the actors are just wandering back and forth, oscillating gently.
Yeah, and like
there's no conflict here. They're not talking. They're not fighting. They're not fighting, so it's not Frankenstein versus the Wolfman. They're not teaming up. They're not making a plan to kill everyone. They're just coexisting as you are with them in the maze.
So here, okay. Let me talk about something that I liked.
All right.
So you actually have to walk through. So there's one on the left, one on the right. You actually walk between them. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I was thinking, one of them's gonna jump out. This is gonna be cool. One of them's gonna get me. No, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. And I slowed down and I turned around to see what cycle they were going through. Uh-huh. The cycle was that he would go back and put his back to the bed, mm-hmm. and then he would wander forward, and then he would wander back. That was the cycle. That was it. You were there to observe the meeting of Frankenstein and Wolfman.
I'm sure if you stayed long enough, you'd see them sign paperwork and sign that lease.
I don't understand what's going on. What could this movie... This is the one maze that made me want to watch the movie. These are the best scenes from the movie, I assume. These are... Right? If it's anything like Stranger Things...
How do we best represent this movie?
Right. If it's like Stranger Things or the Ghostbusters maze, these are the scenes that the fans of this movie are going to cheer about.
Yeah.
They're going to say, hey, did you see that part of the maze where Frankenstein is next to the Wolfman and they're by the beds and they're walking back and forth?
Okay.
What could this movie be about? Okay. I think this movie's from the 50s. This is probably pre-writers, I assume. This was a transition from silent film. And just moving back and forth, that shocked people.
Like, you have no idea the technology that back in the day that was required to have two people in the frame.
It's like computers, like they didn't know if they could render Wolfman and Frankenstein at the same time. This was a technological tour de force.
Okay, to be fair.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, shoot.
Okay,
what do you?
So, like Stranger Things, okay? Mm-hmm. Maybe this isn't to be fair, but Stranger Things, I recognize this is a scene from the TV show, must be really important. When he's looking at that thing and says, with his flashlight, okay, he's looking at the thing, don't not look at it. I don't know what that's about.
There was nothing happening and nothing could possibly be interesting.
I get it,
important.
But in Stranger Things, it's like, this must be an important scene from the movie.
Okay.
Going through this maze... That was the important scene.
That was
of
the
scene.
Movie. That had to be. There's nothing really after this, right? After this scene,
I don't think so.
That was the most
interaction between Frankenstein's monster and the Wolfman, and I didn't. It just left me confused. I was like, why are they in this? What is this? What is this? Why? Why would you do that?
I mean, I can't wait for next year for the sequel of this maze. Frankenstein interacts with the Wolfman, and then in 2022, Frankenstein and the Wolfman part ways. This maze was terrible. It was so bad.
It was. Oh man, how do you? It felt. Here's what it is, okay? And we'll move on. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We'll move on to an awesome maze.
Okay.
But it felt like it was incomplete. So I wonder if the movie was incomplete. It just didn't feel like they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. I'm sure they wanted to
well,
make something.
well, if the essence of the movie was incomplete, man, did they capture that? They captured that. They did a great job. Is this art? Is this art?
Okay, Frankenstein meets Wolfman. Wow. I mean, okay, but really, it just didn't feel like there was anything. You see Wolfman, you see some weird guy with a gun, and then you see a laboratory with both Frankenstein and Wolfman, and that's it. That was the maze. I mean, if they are going by...
Okay, but even being generous, the scares weren't very good, right?
No,
I didn't think the positioning of where the actors were very good. I didn't get startled. I don't think I got startled. I don't remember
being startled.
It didn't really leave an impression on me if I did.
So I think that's what it was. To boil it down, as I give my rating, if it's gonna have to come down to they didn't execute on scares very well. There was no story. The set pieces didn't have really any cohesion. Nothing made any sense. The whole point of the maze was to see Frankenstein and Wolfman in the same room, and that was a bummer. 1 out of 5. I can't. This was not good.
Yeah,
it was not good.
One out of 5. This was bad.
It was bad.
But okay,
in a funny way.
Can I give it a point just for good costumes?
I mean,
because if one is the worst maze, right? If one's the worst maze, everything at Universal, the costumes are good, right?
Okay.
Can I give it?
Okay, well,
this is like a philosophical debate.
So Walking Dead, right?
Right.
I mean, the makeup is good, right?
The makeup here is good.
Yeah, but it's still...
I'm going to give it 2.
I'm
going to give it 2 just because I've been on the East Coast. I've seen some really low-budget things, and I have to reserve my one. I can't give them out willy-nilly. So, Frankenstein meets a werewolf.
Wolfman.
Wolfman.
Werewolf. Hey, that was a good movie. Okay?
that was the exploitive. That was the that was a rip-off version that was better. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
No, meets Wolfman.
No.
Frankenstein meets Wolfman. Don't add anything.
Frankenstein meets Wolfman. Fails to capture the essence of a movie. Also fails to capture 1 out of 5. I give it 2 out of 5. Unremarkable in every way. Hard skip.
Yeah. I mean, why don't you watch the movie and get back to me if you feel so inclined to figure it out.
I will watch a YouTube clip. That's what it got me.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk about awesome things. And speaking of movies, Ghostbusters. Whoa. This maze.
Oh man, you've seen Ghostbusters.
I actually haven't. Okay, wait. I'm afraid to admit. I'm scared to admit, but
you have.
I might have when I was a kid. I don't know. No, but I haven't. I haven't. I know enough about it.
Okay, I've seen Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters. Caveat: this is about the classic Ghostbusters. This is not about the 2015 movie or whatever that made everyone angry. This is not a maze about that.
Right.
So you know enough about Ghostbusters to recognize this.
Yeah.
This maze was a delight. It showed everything that you wanted to see in the original Ghostbusters, and they played the song. Most importantly, they played. TJ, you know my taste in music. It's terrible, right?
Yeah. Well, you don't have a taste in music. You don't like music.
Going off of that, right? Ghostbusters is one of my favorite songs.
All right.
It's Ghostbusters, the national anthem, and the Mortal Kombat song.
Okay.
Those are my favorite songs.
Okay. That's his playlist. It's 3 songs.
Right.
On loop.
They got me pumped up. This was the first maze that we actually did in the night. We're going by the order that they have on the map sheet, not the order that we went in the mazes. This was the first maze we went into.
What a great way to kick off the night.
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Walking into the first like I didn't even know that it was like a really important scene of the movie, but like there's this receptionist that you walk in, and you're kind of like walking past her into a place that you shouldn't be, and she's like, "Where are you going?" And she's like lip syncs it.
Oh, I love how in Universal, instead of having the actor say the line, sometimes they lip sync it if it's an important scene for the movie. Yeah. I like it a lot.
And they do a really good job. Yeah, so I was like, okay, we're going into this. We're not supposed to be back here. And you just kind of see like this chaos of like you have these Ghostbusters fighting ghosts. They have those oh crap. They have these backpack vacuum ghost vacuums. Okay. Ghost vacuums?
There you go. You're all right.
Okay.
You're in safe territory.
Whew.
Good recovery.
Okay. I was like like vacuums with tube things. The tube vacuum things?
Right.
Okay. But yeah, that was really cool. The guy pops out, like, he's like there. So some of these scares, they're startles. You're not scared when you're scared from the noise that they make and they come out and they save you or whatever. But
this maze is a lot more fun than it is scary.
It's fan service.
Yes.
It really is. And even though like here's the thing. Ghostbusters is enough of a pop culture thing where I understood the references that they had, and I was like, "Oh, that's that marshmallow thing." Right. There's that green guy. The Rithik is giving me the stare. He's like, you need to watch Ghostbusters right after this.
Right. And you will. So let's move on. I give it 4 out of 5.
I give it 4 out of 5. Lots of fun.
Okay.
Not really scary, but
but
not
scary.
That's not the point. I like the maze a lot. 4 out of 5 for me.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, they have 10 mazes this year. If one of them is dedicated to just fan service, Ghostbusters, I'm okay with that.
Okay. So moving on to Us, and man, this maze is incredible.
This maze is wow. Okay. So I said before, if you had 3 hours, go to the Killer Klowns. Now, if you have, you're gonna be at the park 7 hours. Spend 3 hours on this one as well.
Right.
This is amazing. This maze is amazing. TJ, have you seen Us?
I have not seen Us.
Okay,
I've seen the trailer.
Okay.
I do know what it's about. It's like some lookalikes that are gonna murder them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you got it. you hit the nail on the head. Good job,
okay.
I'm not sure what that says about the plot of the movie, but that's...
You watched the movie?
I did watch the movie. I enjoyed it. It was pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty good. And they did a fantastic job with this maze. There's not a lot to reenact in terms of setting, right? But the actors have to move in this creepy, mimey way.
Yeah.
They did so well. The casting for this maze is amazing. They got people that look generally like the people from the movie, and they act so well. They move in such a creepy way.
Their eyes, dude. Their eyes.
They're acting with their eyes.
Oh my gosh. It
was so unsettling.
There's these parts where, they like step to the beat of the music that plays, like, the I Got 5 on it, and they mash up. I love that song. I actually like the remix version that they use in the trailer more than the actual version now. I put that on loop, actually. That would be my playlist. It's just national anthem and that now. So and then they're stepping to the beats of the music, and it's weird because you're not sure if they're gonna come after you. Sometimes they just take a quick step and stare at you, big eyes, and you just don't know what to expect.
I have to say that I've been to so many mazes. There's a lot of mazes that I enjoy that I get, startled in, and I love the atmosphere, and I'm having so much fun. This is one of the few mazes I felt actually scared. I haven't felt real fear in a maze, and I just take it for granted that it just won't happen because I've been to so many. I kind of know all the tricks. The most I can feel is this maze was awesome, just like the Killer Klowns maze.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't actually thinking that they were going to stab me or kill me. This one really set something off. Like, this was a hair standing on its end.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Watch the trailer before you walk into this maze.
Yeah, go ahead. If you haven't seen the movie, watch the trailer of the movie, and I think that'll give you a general.
Yeah, because all you do need to know that there's like these clone people or whatever that look
Right,
like
these doppelgangers.
They're doppelgangers. Okay.
Right, or known as the others.
Okay. So one of the parts of the maze is like you're walking through and there's these mirrors. It kind of gives you this unsettling feeling where, okay, well, there's going to be lookalikes. There's going to be lookalikes. Okay, walking through the mirrors. And man, I remember there's this one scene where I think it's like a classroom or something, and he was he or she? I don't know. But the actor she was holding up like these like paper cutouts of like these people or whatever, and she's like unfolding it, and then she's like making this really weird face or whatever. And I'm like, oh crap, don't come this way. And then, boom, on the cue of the music, someone pops out, I think it was a clone, pops out of the side and attacks. And I'm like, whoa! And I was like scared for her.
Right.
I wasn't scared for me anymore. I was like, oh my god, she's gonna attack.
She's actually not, though, a non-clone, actually.
Oh.
It's a pivotal scene in the movie. Spoilers.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry about that.
So, it's the original is actually attacking the clone now.
Oh.
So, I actually knew that was going to happen, and they did it so well. That's one of the best scenes from the movie.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, they did a great job with this maze.
Yeah,
Real fear, good acting, great casting. The sets, I mean, there's not really much to do with sets. It's the real world. The House of Mirrors was good. Yeah. Because they have a House of Mirrors area.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was truly scared coming. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm getting goosebumps. Man, this left an impression on me. And I don't know, man. I don't know if they can do anything else to improve this maze. For the rating.
This is one of the best mazes I've been in for a while.
What would you rate this maze, Rithik?
5 out of 5. 5 out of 5, easy.
Yeah, I got 5 on it. So 5 out of 5 for me, perfect score. Man, if this, I hope they're not gonna keep it, but man, I would. Maybe it's my favorite. I don't know. We'll move on. We'll move on to another pretty good maze that Pandora's Box.
Pandora's Box, also a new IP, so like Holidayz in Hell, not based on anything.
Right.
So you don't have to have seen Pandora's Box, the movie or TV show, because there isn't one. And this was the setup is that Pandora's Box was opened, and a bunch of stuff is happening.
And Pandora's Box things happen.
A stronger plot than Frankenstein meets Wolfman.
Right. Right. It might be an extension of Pandora's Box. It's not a real maze. It's not. It's like it's like Christmas in Hell. It's just like an extension of Pandora's Box.
Okay. Anyway, back to Pandora's Box.
Okay, Pandora's Box.
Bunch of stuff is happening. Bunch of creepy scenes. It's the one. I think the negative thing you could say about this maze is that it's all over the place. But I don't care.
They made it work.
Because I liked everywhere that it went. Yeah. It was everywhere, but I liked it was done well.
Yeah. And as you might have noticed, I'm a pretty big fan of neon.
Neon. Oh, man. Neon everything. So nothing is more scary than neon.
So there's these like areas where you have like these sarcophagi. Yeah, I see. Like I said, sarcophagi.
You better hope you're right.
I hope
we'll be corrected in the comments.
I'm just gonna say it's Cleopatra's, and that's way more worse. That's way more off, but it's safer because people will know what I'm talking about. And they have like these like neon snakes wrapped around, which is really cool. And you get into this area where it's like the universe, like you're in like this universe, like a starry area, and it's like brightly like there's like these not neon, but a black lights stars, and then you have like these suited men who like blend into the wall. I love that gag. They don't do that enough. And then they pop out at you out of nowhere. Man, they really made it so that the fact that it's all over the place, that they can just do whatever they want for each scene, and it really paid off, I think. Really enjoyed this maze. But other than that, there's not much to talk about. It's just a compilation of weird stuff, Halloween related. Yeah.
So yeah, I give this one a 4 out of 5. I liked it. I got good scares. It was visually interesting. There was no story, right? There was no story. It was all over the place. Didn't make any sense. Didn't have to. It gave them a license to showcase a lot of things, and I thought they did pretty well with it. So 4 out of 5. I'm happy with it. I don't know what they do with this one because I imagine they're not going to bring it back. If they bring it, as a scare zone, would it make sense? Anytime there's a good maze at Universal, you kind of want to see it come back. Obviously, that's what's good about Universal is that everything's fresh.
Right.
But I'm happy they took a chance with this one. I've heard some negative things online about this maze.
Oh, really?
It was just too all over the place for people.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind, and so 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I didn't care that it was all over the place. It's just each thing is a scene, and I liked each of the scenes. 4 out of 5. I mean, if you're gonna complain about whatever you want, right? But Creepshow, for example, is just a compilation of scenes, but happens to be tied to a real IP. Pandora's Box is not too different, except there is no IP attached to it.
Right.
It's just a bunch of stuff that they wanted to do, and I liked it. So, 4 out of 5. But yeah, that's it for the mazes. Let's go ahead and move on to the scare zones, air quotes, scare zones.
Yes.
Starting with Fallen Angelz.
With a Z.
With a Z.
Okay. Man. So overall thoughts, Universal has a really hard time with scare zones. And the reason for that is some of it's understandable, as we said with
some of it's logistical.
Flags. Yeah, some like with Six Flags, huge park, it's gonna be a problem. Problem for Universal is that the park itself is so well themed, right? It's a movie studio. The buildings are really tall, right? Mm-hmm. It's really hard to Halloweenify things. Okay, so huge challenge, huge problem, and for the most part, Universal is not up to it. They're not up to it. Okay, I can only talk about Fallen Angels and Spirits of Demons together, because I can't tell where one begins and one ends. And if you look at the map, it's a ridiculously small gap between them.
Right.
Now, Fallen Angels, Spirits of Demons. Tell me thematically from that title, how would they be different? I don't know. Sounds like the Spirits of Demons belong to Fallen Angels. That's what I think. Not a theologian. Not an expert. I'm not an expert in these things. I can tell you the set dressing gives you no clues.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There are some props.
And you know what?
But these props have been used in other scare zones.
Yeah, the problem with this,
so they didn't buy any new props for this.
Yeah, the really weird thing is that you transition out of Fallen Angels, and then you hear chainsaws. It's like, what is there? I mean, I guess like being a demon isn't scary enough. You need a chainsaw, right? Really drive that puppy home. But yeah, it feels a little bit deceptive to call it 2 different scare zones. It really is just one giant scare zone, which is fine because I like it.
But the theming.
There's no theming.
There's no theming. There's some geisha actors out there, I think, that are part of the Spirits of Demons.
Yeah.
There's chainsaw people. Okay.
It's like people left over from the Purge and then never left the park.
right. From 3 years ago.
Yeah, they're like, let me out.
I don't. Okay. So I haven't heard this in other podcasts. I don't get the setting. I don't think the setting exists. I don't think it's anywhere. Yes, there are some props that look like hell in general, but I've seen them other years. So they don't tell me that they're specifically for Fallen Angels or Spirits of Demons. Okay. But what you do get, okay, is some very talented scare actors.
Yeah.
Okay? They're very good at scaring. They don't have any help from props. They're
not much fog in this area either, because
it's one big scare zone from the entrance going forward to, I don't know, 200 meters. Okay. It's a big straight line that they're saying it's 2 scare zones. There's no break.
Yeah, so it starts at the gate.
Right. And they don't stick to the area on the map. No. They're just going everywhere, which is absolutely fine.
Right.
They are basically setting up scares near the entrance of the park.
Yeah, I just feel like it's really deceptive to say it's too scary. Like,
okay.
If you're gonna name it, then name Fallen Angels, Gates of Hell, and then Spirits of Demons Hell. Just like make it one. Gates of Hell, you're in hell now. Like, welcome. Like,
Exactly.
why do you need to name it two things? That is.
They were reaching for having 2 scare zones because there's going to be problems with the other scare zones, but positives. Scare actors are really good. They interact with people really well. We had a lot of fun just watching them work.
Yeah.
Right? They're really good. They get in people's faces. They act as statues.
Yeah, there's this guy who was like he was scaring, and all of a sudden, like he kind of just stopped moving and kind of statuified himself. That's not a word, is it? But he posted it right next to the entrance of this gift shop and was standing so still, and I think his robe, his garb was kind of building colored. It was like grayish. It looked like it had a texture to it. So when he stood there all still, it looked like he was part of the building. And we just watched him for a while do his work. But it's just things like that. So creative. Yeah, and I know that people really don't like the chainsaws. I had a couple of people that were walking by and they're like, I hate the chainsaws. Like, why do you gotta put that gas smell in my face? And like,
this me? This was me. I don't like chainsaws.
Yeah. There's another group. Maybe it was you too.
Right.
Maybe you agreed with them, but I was like, that is kind of annoying. That gas smell. It's like, yeah, that I'm more afraid of the gas smell than I am the sound. But that really gets people.
Yeah,
Chainsaw
some people
stuff.
really like chainsaws.
Yeah.
The scare actors here are great.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're on par with the other parks. The issue is that they just don't have any help.
Yeah.
They don't. Someone told them, "Hey, go scare people," and they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
But there's no story to be had here.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this a Fallen Angels of Spirit. Can we really call it 2 scares? It's just one.
I can only give one rating. I don't know. It's one.
What would you rate it?
I give it a 3 out of 5, and those 3 points are earned by the scare actors there because they're doing a great job. But the scare zone is Universal Studios Hollywood. That's where they're doing the scares. There's no.
Yeah.
They're not. There's nothing else.
And
they're sharing those 3 points between the 2 scare zones.
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's good. The fact that they can dedicate that much space, there's a lot of space to scare actors, big crowd, they were getting a lot of scares. And a lot of them had to do with the chainsaws, which I don't mind, but I thought it was fine. I liked it. I like it. 4 out of 5. You are very...
No, I don't like this. I don't... It's as good as the Hallow, 4 out of 5. It's as good as Nightmares in Six Flags, 4 out of 5.
Well, here's the thing about the Hallow. The Hallow...
You're going to tell me it's as good as Carnival? Where those people are...
Here's the thing.
Okay, all right.
So the Hallow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or... What did we rate the lake? The
Forsaken Lake.
Forsaken Lake.
4 stars.
4 out of 5. I am willing to bet that for Fallen Angels and Spirits of Demons, they are getting more scares than Forsaken Lake and Knots. Even if it just has to do with volume, but the fact that with that large area, you can get that many scares, I think the utility in that 4 out of 5, right? The point of a scare zone is to get scares. Like, you're giving points for theming, you're giving points for it being creative, you're giving Knots points because of how good the actors are.
It's a scare zone. And it's not just scares.
Right? Fair. Right? I mean, but what is a scare zone? So a scare zone needs to have the theming. So you're giving it minus points for no theming.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I'll give it -1 points for no theming, but for the scares, they're killing it in that department. Are
they sliding around? Are they?
Well, no, because they don't have sliders.
Okay.
They don't have sliders. They have chainsaws, which is what everyone else. You don't like chainsaws,
right? No. Is there fog?
Not enough. Definitely not enough fog.
Okay.
For sure.
There's not enough fog.
Yeah. Same thing with Carnival, though. No fog.
Right, but it's Carnival in Knots. It's not Universal. It has...
I like this. We don't disagree very often.
No, yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, I'm fighting my way down to 3. So, there's Klowns in the boardwalk part of the park.
The theming's good.
Right, and it matches the theming, and they're being innovative in how they're scaring you because they have the balloons.
Yeah.
That they're making little sounds. They're working with the environment.
They were working environment here too. We saw that guy who was blending.
Right. Well, that guy's a genius.
Such a populated area with that many scare. Carnival. Imagine tripling the amount of clowns. How creative can you get? The amount of people definitely takes away from how creative you can get, right? Like,
I mean, that's a big area. Not all of it's crowded.
yeah, not all of it's crowded. A lot of it's people,
Right.
but they were getting tons of scares, nonstop, all night.
Well, yeah, that's just because people are walking by there. It's the entrance. Like, of course they're getting a ton of scares because they're just walking by people sticking their hands in front of their faces.
Okay, well,
I don't think that they're all quality scares. Yes, we did see the guy that was doing the building thing.
well,
But besides that one guy, what was
all
anyone doing that was really that innovative?
but is innovation important?
I mean, what were they doing to get a good scare?
Chainsaws, or there's the girl with the geisha. She would walk up behind and she would slam the fan right in front of your face. That's awesome.
Is it awesome? It's a startle. I mean, you're reacting to the sound as opposed to like seeing someone like crawl on their hands and knees towards you. Okay, so
But you can say
here's
that
an
about
example.
people coming out of fog, though. That's not innovative. You're just using
Well, it's ominous, right? There's something that you're seeing visually that's not just, oh, it's right there. It's, what is that? It's a figure, right?
You're not a fan of the types of scares that they're getting.
Yeah, it's all startles. They're not scares. They're startles. It's the same thing.
I see what you're saying.
It's like you're walking through a crowd and there's someone about to run into you. It's the same. Like, it's like, oh, shit. It's
Okay,
like,
well, so
do we see people running in terror? I don't think we did. I didn't see it.
running in terror in Universal?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I think so.
Remember the girl who was running into the Starbucks? She ran into the Starbucks. She ran out and got chased again.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think you're just not a fan of that. Like, okay, think about Six Flags and their gate, right? Tons of scare actors.
Right.
We like it because there's also tons of fog and the neon stuff. It fits with the theme, right?
Right. It all works together, and that's why it's a 4.
To me, the utility in that is to scare people, right? The way they're scaring people is different.
Okay.
But
well, here's the other thing.
You're
is that
setting
in a
the
scare zone-
atmosphere puts a certain mood,
Right.
And
It gives people
that's
the
what
peop-
you value. That's
Right.
what you,
Because
you
it's not
valuing-
just about the people getting scared. It's the people that are not getting scared. Right. They're having a positive experience in that scare zone. Right. But at Universal, at this, these two scare zones that are together, if you're not getting a scare, you're not getting anything. Because there's nothing to build on it. There's no, oh, I think I'm going to get scared because there's a setting, there's a story here. There's something to distract me. It's just...
there is less to appreciate for those who are... I mean, I did appreciate seeing a lot of the population getting chased down. That you'll get that in any park, regardless of the theming.
I just, I don't think you can be throwing out 4 out of 5s this liberally. There just wasn't enough work to earn it.
It wasn't enough work to earn it. We'll come back. We need to move on.
Okay,
We need
3
to
out
move
of
on.
5 from me.
Okay. 4 out of 5 blinking. We'll keep that blinking for
Okay,
a while.
all
All
right.
right. You might have something. I'm not ready to say I am completely correct. But you haven't completely convinced me. Let's move on. Maybe we'll come back. Christmas in Hell, which is again air quotes a scare zone.
A scare zone. So you can
Not a scare zone.
Okay, so you go to Christmas in Hell, for those that don't remember. You go to Holidayz in Hell, the maze, and it opens up into an outdoor area, and it continues.
It's an outdoor part of the maze.
Outdoor part of the maze, you cannot get into it from any other place.
Correct.
You cannot wander into it. It is exclusive to this maze.
Yeah.
So if you don't wait in the line for the maze, you do not get the scare zone.
Yep. So it is pretty deceptive. Actually, a complete lie to call this a scare zone.
Yeah, it's not a scare zone.
It's not a scare zone.
It is part of the maze. They're getting double points. It's as if this is if you're buying a ticket, right? and you're counting the number of events that you're getting per your ticket. To double count this, it's nothing. It's nothing but a lie.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, with Fallen Angels and Spirits of Demons, I mean, I didn't spend hours there to to make the assessment that I couldn't tell the difference.
It's a huge area, but it's not 2 scare zones.
Right. I mean, but someone could make the argument because maybe there was something there I didn't see.
It might be as big as 2 scare zones.
But maybe there was set dressing I didn't see. I didn't walk every part of it. So I'm for Christmas in Hell, it's nothing but a lie.
Yeah.
Right? This is not a scare zone.
It's not a scare zone.
It's not a scare zone. Now, what I will say, if it was a standalone maze, I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Fair enough. And it's funny
good.
because this is one of the parts of Holidayz in Hell that I actually remember, and it was awesome.
It's awesome. There's the Stilt Walkers.
Yeah.
It's Christmas in Hell.
Tons of fog. I'm a huge fan of fog.
It's a great maze.
Yeah,
it's a great maze, people. It's a terrible, non-existent scare zone.
It is an anti-scare zone.
So how do we rate this? It's a 0 out of 10 for being a scare zone.
First of all, it's not a scare zone.
Right.
So far, a 1, 2, 3. We went through the first 3 scare zones, and only one of them is. So
right.
There's only one scare zone so far. Christmas in Hell, yeah, it's a maze. Great.
As a maze, 4 out of 5.
But I even think that's deceptive because it's just part of Holidayz in Hell.
Right. And did I factor... Man, if I took out Christmas in Hell out of
does it add
Holidayz in Hell...
Does it add length to it? Is it adding length to the maze? Does it feel like a lengthier maze to you?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Then it is a longer maze.
Christmas in Hell and Holidayz in Hell together are a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
So, by itself, what would it be? I don't know. It would be a super short maze. I'm not going to play this game. Yeah, okay? I'm not going to rate it. It's Christmas in Hell plus Holidayz in Hell as a maze, or it's a 4 out of 5.
Right. Okay, I can only rate Christmas in Hell. I'm going to give that experience a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Otherwise, as a scare zone, it's
again,
a lie.
guys, it's not a scare zone. Okay. So, let's move on to another, air quotes, scare zone.
No, this one.
I know.
I'm going to say this is a scare zone.
I'm being facetious here.
Okay, this one's a scare zone.
Toxxxic Tunnel.
Yeah. So Toxxxic. Oh,
Toxxxic.
That's a little scary.
Scary than Toxxxic Tunnel.
Toxxxic with 3 X's. I'm gonna fight to say this is the scare zone. This is a bad scare zone.
It's poop.
It's a bad scare zone. It's definitely a scare zone. Not a lie. Okay, I've heard people rave about this. I've heard people rave.
We used to rave about it.
We used to rave about it because
it was 2 years ago. So
when you're going from Universal's the main lot, right, the upper lot to the lower lot, you have to cross through this tunnel. And it's divided in 2 ways, going away from the park on the left, coming back on the right. And there's a bunch of demented people, like toxic, like a biohazard material spill. People are mutating, and you're walking through. And there's not a lot of place. It's easy for the scare actors to get to you. I
didn't really get the theming on that. Yeah. They're just kind of like rocking out to...
Yeah, and there's music playing because that's you know how I am with music. Don't like it. I'm an old man. I don't get the jazz music. And 3 years ago, I swear to God. Do you swear to God that there was fog in this?
There was fog.
There's gotta be,
awesome because there's fog and strobing
and strobe lights.
And I remember getting so freaked out when they would time their jumps from when the strobes come off and out of the fog out of nowhere right in my face.
Right.
It was awesome.
I swear to God that there was fog in the scare zone before. And it was one of my favorite scare zones.
Yeah.
It was awesome when they had fog. Last 2 years, no fog. Yeah, and we've gone multiple times. We thought maybe they shut the fog off. And I've heard people rave about this. And are they just... Do they only do the fog during the media night? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't get it.
There was no fog. There hasn't been fog for 2 years. And this maze, this scare zone makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because you see them from a mile away. You're just walking to them. There's dubstep music.
Yeah,
Is that what the kids call it? The dubsteps?
It's the dubsteps.
Okay,
man.
the dubsteps. And there's a strobe light. Which, strobe lights, they do work.
They weren't as stroby.
They weren't very stroby.
They're kind of queued up. They're in queue with the music.
Okay.
And they're changing colors. But before, I remember it was like, I might get a seizure from this.
Right.
So maybe that's why.
Safety?
But for safety?
Sure.
But come on, don't cut the fog, man. That was everything. That really is. It's a huge tunnel, by the way. It's gigantic. Yeah. You can see straight through it without the fog. Well, yeah. Fog is a huge part of this tunnel. So you see the
scare actors from so far out, and you're just walking up to them. And what they do is they kind of give you a lazy, like they stick their hand in front of your face.
And I'm telling you, this is a huge hall. It's gigantic. So the scare actors have to travel a pretty big distance to get to you, and sometimes you just don't have enough time, and there doesn't really make any sense. They don't have any tools at their disposal. And I saw some of them, they're just like trying to be in character. They're just kind of like mosh pitting, I don't know what you call it, like slam dancing
right.
to the dubstep, like spazzing out in a corner, like trying to get in theme with it, to try and freak people out. But it's just like these characters are just kind of doing whatever they want, but it's not their fault because they have nothing to work with. You know what I mean? There's no fog. What is toxic about this tunnel?
Yeah.
What is toxic?
Wait, what's toxic? It's already dissipated.
Yeah.
The situation has been solved.
You know what's toxic? Their marketing practices. That's pretty toxic.
Yeah.
But man,
it's not good.
It's not good.
They added an extra X. They added 2 extra X's this year because it's extra toxic, extra bad.
It's extra bad. It's like the lights are going off and like
what's in there? There's some sets. There's some broken cars, right? They give them credit for that.
They have broken cars.
I think they have a broken down car.
I didn't notice it. Okay. Maybe you noticed it. Whatever. All I could think of is like I need a power walk, not because I'm scared, but because this music. My goodness. Like I don't know why dubstep is the music of Halloween. Maybe it's like just annoy him to death. I don't know. It's like you know what it is? It's like going to a rave you didn't sign up for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
This wasn't good. I give it a 1. Do I give it a 1?
It's a waste of time. You just want to get there faster.
Yeah, it's a 1.
It's a 1.
This is not good.
Yeah.
Man, Universal, they really
bring back the fog.
They don't understand scare zones.
Bring back the fog. You can go from a 1 to a 5 with that fog.
Right.
All right.
Turn up the strobes. I don't know. Is it
maybe they killed thing? Maybe they killed 3 people or a couple of years ago, whatever. But
but you got to bring
it's worth it though. It's worth it.
It is worth their lives. Just have a little memorial for people that have
make it scarier. It'll be the haunted Toxxxic Tunnel now.
In memory of.
Yeah, you can have one of them in a power scooter. It's it's actually the guy who died. Right. Yeah, 1 out of 5. Sucks.
This is bad.
It's bad.
Put the fog back on. And if you've been there and there was fog, let us know.
Yeah.
Because we've been there 3 times in the last 2 years. No fog. And it's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. But what was not terrible was not really a scare. You have to line up for it.
Right.
And it's just an outdoor maze.
Right. So All Hallows Evil is a outdoor maze, which they're calling a scare zone. You line up for it. Very short wait. Very short. And
your fast pass actually does not get you priority access.
No priority access because this is
the wait in line like everyone else.
And it wasn't very long. No. And there was
10
a
minutes?
big crowd. At most.
Yeah.
At most. All Hallows Evil, is about all the other Halloween related or Halloween time holidays. So Samhain, All Saints Day, Dia de Muertos. Sorry, mispronouncing that. So it's all of the
it was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good.
And here's the thing about outdoor mazes that I love so much. It's when you have outdoor mazes, you have to corral the line to where you want to go, And clever use of fog is a great way to do it. Like, I can't see where that is. Oh, but it happens to be the places that you can see, it's decorated with stuff. And your eyes are naturally drawn to there. And that helps scare actors get in your face because they see you. They see you, they're not paying attention. This is when we get the scares. And that is why outdoor mazes are awesome, because you have to use fog. Right?
Right.
That's
it's awesome. I wish I would be fine if Universal just said, "Hey, we don't understand scare zones. We're gonna have some scare actors at the entrance,
right.
but we're just gonna have a bunch of extra outdoor mazes because the wait time for our regular mazes is just so long. So we're gonna give you some outdoor mazes that we're not gonna put as much money into, but we're gonna do them in an innovative way." I'd be fine with that because they do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Every outdoor maze I've ever had, the Purge one, that was one of the best mazes.
Yeah, I remember that one.
They've always had fantastic.
We actually stood outside of that area next to the benches, the food area, and we kind of watched it
for
a
hours.
while. Yeah.
For hours, we were just watching it.
Yeah, that was great.
Holidayz in Hell started as an outdoor maze, and now it's still a half outdoor maze.
Right.
And they do a fantastic job in outdoor mazes. They do.
They can do mazes.
Right.
Just do mazes. Whatever.
That's fine.
Do Gates of Hell and Hell, or whatever they're called.
Right.
And outdoor mazes or mazes.
Right.
You mean you don't need to advertise that you have that many scare zones.
You don't have to use the term scare zone.
Yeah.
Like, Universal is a big enough park where they don't have to play by Knott's or Six Flags' rules. They can just say, here are your mazes, here are your other events, outdoor events,
right,
side activities, side quests, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's going to work because they're big enough. People are going to, we complain a lot about this event. We go every year.
And it was the best. It was the best they've been.
Yeah, this is the best year they've had.
They've had amazing mazes and pretty good scare zones. If you can call some of those scare zones.
Yeah, if we count the outdoor mazes as scare zones, fantastic. If you want to count the scare zones as scare zones, terrible, right?
I mean, yeah.
They had two good outdoor
So
mazes.
let's lump together Fallen Angels, Spirits of Demons as one. Really, it's just one scare zone.
3 out of 5.
And then Toxxxic Tunnel. We'll get to that. Toxxxic Tunnel.
1 out of 5.
Terrible.
For me.
And
1 out of 5.
And then that's 2 scare zones.
Right. And then
just make All Hallows Evil a maze. They have 10 mazes. Right? 1, 2, 3,
11.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, just say we have the most mazes. You can mark
11,
it that way.
11.
You don't need scares. Some people don't like them. They just want to wait 3 hours in line. Some people really like that.
Right.
It's like, I hate gas in my face. Let's get in this 3-hour line.
Right.
Like, that sounds awesome.
How awesome would it be if they got rid of the scare zones, which they already don't have, and they added scare actors to the wait lines?
Look, this is what you do. This is what you do. Okay? If they were to do everything the same, right? Just take half of those actors out of Spirits of Demons, make it smaller. Christmas in Hell, don't advertise that as a scare zone. All Hallows Evil, don't advertise as a scare zone. Toxxxic Tunnel, just don't. And then do the Haunted Tram Ride or something. Which I know that there were problems with it. It isn't the greatest, but it isn't bad. I mean, I liked it. I think walking through that area where this was, how many years ago? This was
last year. Last year they had the tram ride.
So yeah, last year the part when you go to the plane crash area, I thought was really cool. Actually going through the set. It is a logistical issue.
Yeah, it's a lot of sitting on that tram.
But I don't know. I think I'd rather have that than pretend you have 3 extra scare zones.
I mean, I know they can't do the tram ride now because they have the extra 2 mazes out of that. You got Pandora's box and us in that area, so they can't go back to the tram ride without cutting those. I'd rather have 2 mazes instead of 1 tram ride. And I just think honestly, what I would rather have is just honesty in advertising, right?
Yeah, just say
Christmas in Hell is not a thing that you can't double count that.
Right.
So that's just a lie. That needs to go off of the map.
Right.
Fallen Angels and Spirits of Demons needs to be compared in one or separate them. Okay? Put a bigger
actually
gap.
make a real separation between the two.
Right. A separation between the two. and then turn on the fog at Toxxxic Tunnel, or get rid of it if you can't do that.
Yeah, or you know what? Move that half that's part of Fallen Angels and Spirits of Demons. Move that half to Toxxxic Tunnel if you're not going to have fog. Just have more scare actors. Whatever.
Sure. Okay.
Whatever. Do something. That is a terrible part of the park.
Yeah. It's a long walk to get down there. And then Hollow's Evil. Call it what it is. Outdoor Maze. Okay, so quickly, let's go through our rating. TJ, moment of truth. What have you decided for the combined scare zone?
I've gotten more angry as we've talked about this.
Excellent. Leads to the dark side. So Fallen Angels, Spirits of Demons. Right. I give it a 3 out of 5. What do you give it?
Okay. So before, what I was thinking of was like, okay, yeah, you're giving extra points because I know that you are biased towards things. Yeah. You are theming. Mm-hmm. Theming, right? Mm-hmm. To me, theming in a scare zone is not as important as scares in a scare zone. But thinking about it more, let me think about it. Let me think about it. Okay. Well, Toxxxic Tunnel, I give it 1. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, give it 1. Doesn't make any sense. I would give it a 0. Okay. What is 0 divided by 5? Yeah, that's my rating for Toxxxic Tunnel without any toxic stuff. Okay. So let me finish. All right. Let me finish my point. Okay. The fact that they call it 2 scare zones. No real separation between the two. It feels like one big scare zone. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. And, I guess that's 3 out of 5. Fine.
All right. Victory.
That's
Victory.
Fine. That's
all
fine.
All right. Okay. And Christmas in Hell, we said 4 out of 5 if it's counted as part of Holidayz in Hell.
Yeah.
All Hallows Evil as a maze, 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Toxxxic Tunnel, 1 out of 5. Yeah. All right, moving on to the shows.
To the show. To the show. One show. Yeah. So we'll do the show and then we'll tell us what we think our favorite maze. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So the show, the Jabbawockeez. What? Yeah, I love the show. I know that you're not a big fan of dance or music, and you still seem to enjoy it.
I do not like dancing at all. I don't like people gyrating. I don't like people moving to music. Yeah. And this is the only dancing that I watch all year.
You're the
and
type,
I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
You're the type that at school you'd bring a ruler to see if the girls' skirts were like the right length.
Right. You gotta save room for Jesus.
Right. So Jabbawockeez wasn't really Halloween themed this year.
No.
Last year
it was lightly Halloween themed last year.
A little bit spooky, but still, like, I really like the Jabbawockeez.
I enjoy it. I it works for me. It's something that I naturally wouldn't like, but they do such a good job.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm charmed.
Come on, guys. It's the Jabbawockeez. I don't have to say what they are. They're the Jabbawockeez, right? You are going to a Halloween event, and like this world famous group just happens to be there. Come join us if you'd like. That's awesome. You have to go. You have to go. So Jabbawockeez. I mean, even though it wasn't my favorite choreography this year, I believe last year it was
fantastic last year.
An awesome the laser part where he's playing the lasers in the circle. That was crazy. They had the same thing this year, but it was boxes, and they did like a little box thing. Which
this
year
as good. They only had one audience interaction moment. It was fantastic.
That's true. Did this show seem shorter to you?
It was shorter. It was definitely shorter.
Yeah. The girl did really good, though.
Oh, yeah. I saw when that girl got picked from the audience, I knew she came to dance.
Right.
She was fantastic.
She was really good.
And I wish they gave her more time to dance.
Right.
Because last time there was 2 sections where they pulled people from the crowd, maybe 3. And I really enjoyed those moments, and I thought it was a little too short. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's not much negative to say. It is a little shorter than last year. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe something to do with the crowd. Mm-hmm. I wish that Universal had another show, another thing to do during the night. But it is what it is. This show is awesome.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to rate the Jabbawockeez perfect score, 5 out of 5. It's the Jabbawockeez. What do you want from me? It's what they are. They're Universal. Got to see it.
I'll give it a 4 out of 5 for this year. Actually, the changes were enough for me to bump it down 1. I wish they added 5 minutes to the show, added a second audience interaction moment. I
Yeah.
would have liked that. A little bit longer.
If there was anything that I would add to improve it, would just be. I would like it to be somewhat Halloween themed because they did do it last year and it was good. It was a good integration with it, but nah. I mean, I think they're fantastic. I like their music choice. I know you don't like music, but
nope, don't like it. Don't like silence.
But yeah, I mean, if come on, guys, if Rithik gives this show a 4 out of 5, you have to see it. Okay.
Right. 0 for the music, 4 points just for the dancing.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so that wraps up Hollywood Horror Nights. Now, let's talk about
top maze.
What our favorite maze. So who should go first here? Want me to go first?
I'm the guest. I'll go first.
Okay.
Gracious. Thank
Okay.
you for your hospitality. Us, for sure. For sure. I was thinking about how great Killer Klowns was. Definitely deserves a mention. Gets a perfect score from me. But Us was fantastic. Casting was fantastic. Integration with the movie was good. Acting was amazing. And it gets my favorite because I was actually afraid in this maze. And I haven't been afraid in a maze for a while. And I loved it. It was fantastic.
I mean, there's no way that I pick any other maze but Us. I mean, it had everything. It had everything. It had me creeped out. It had great actors lip syncing. It had music that I like. What?
Yeah.
Like, I got 5 on it. Come on. Man, they did such a good job. I want to see the movie now. This maze was incredible. I don't think I've been this scared coming out of a maze in a really long time. I think the last time I actually felt that like it left a lasting impression on me was last year when they first did that maze change to Paranormal Inc. After getting through that weird time warp.
Right.
That left an impression on me, gave me goosebumps thinking about it. Us now is when I think about getting freaked out. Us, holy cow, that maze was so good. If you could only go to 2 mazes in Hollywood Horror Nights, it would be Killer Klowns and Us. If you only go to 3, you do Us twice and Killer Klowns once.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
For sure. But
I don't know if you have that much time though. I don't know the lines for the regular pass. I don't know if you have time.
Right. Yeah, you definitely won't have time.
But if you could, 3 mazes, Us times 2.
Yeah. I guess before we wrap things up, I just want to mention real quickly. We actually went to the new Jurassic World.
Oh yes.
Ride.
I totally forgot about that.
Man, okay, so we actually went to Jurassic Park the ride last year because I kind of like, you won't really get that wet. And then Rithik realized that, you do kind of get that wet. I ended up taking the brunt of that as karma because I believe it's just a raft ride. And there was this, I was on the left side of the raft and just luck happened to be that's where you get wet. So, well, guess what? Same thing happened this year. I was on the very left side. I got soaked, and I'm glad we did that at the end because
we did get pretty wet. So it got rethemed for Jurassic World. Pretty good retheming, I thought.
I'm happy that they did it.
Yeah, I'm a purist. I love Jurassic Park. Not so crazy about Jurassic World. However, they didn't change the ride so much that I didn't recognize it. The setting change was pretty good. Do I want to spoil it? Nah, I won't spoil it too much. But
go see it.
It's
go ride it.
Yeah, it's
you
a
will
good
get wet. You'll
get wet. You'll get wet. You're going on a wire ride.
Buy one of those.
There's still a drop. I'll tell you that. There's still a drop. It's not a huge change, but it just integrates some stuff from Jurassic World. Nothing over the top, and it's more interesting than the old ride. So, yeah, it's not worse in any way. It's a little bit better.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, well, little bonus there for you guys. That about wraps up the episode with Universal Studios Hollywood. Man, that was a lot to get through, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Man, it is getting late. We need to wrap things up. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys in the next episode. So tune in for the next episode. We're actually going to be comparing all 3 parks. That's going to be an exciting one. But that about wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy Halloween.
All right, happy Halloween, everyone.